Could the hero hunter from One Punch Man, Garou, take down the greatest hero of My Hero Academia, All Might? Well, technically, it's Garou, but let's not get picky. For this battle, we'll take Season 2 Garou and pit him against All Might from the first 3 seasons and the first movie. This matchup is way closer than you might think, and it's definitely more interesting than people give it credit for. But before we get into it, let me know in the comments which heroes you want to see Garou hunt next, and enjoy the show. Let's get started with the number 1 hero himself, All Might. In All Might's debut fight with the sludge monster, he punched so hard that it not only atomized the villain, but also caused a freaking weather shift. Calculations suggest that this feat could be island level, which might sound wild, but stick with me. Even when not at 100% of his power, All Might's feats suggest he can easily destroy islands, like when he stopped that massive metal cube in the first movie. Even if you downplay his abilities, he's still shrugging off town-level attacks and wrecking a city block with a gust of wind from his punches while barely trying. So yeah, even a weakened All Might, barely holding his own against All for One, is probably knocking on the door of S-class hero levels. Now let's talk attack power. All Might is a simple guy. He punches things really hard. His feats are pretty straightforward compared to characters from Jujutsu Kaisen or One Piece. And since All Might can withstand his own punches, his durability is up there as well. Next, speed. This one's a bit trickier. There's a lot of debate about where My Hero Academia characters stand in terms of speed, but I think it's fair to say that at least some of them are lightning timers. For instance, Kaminari, a mid-tier hero, shoots lightning blasts from his fingertips. Plus, Midoriya has blitzed a bullet at relativistic speeds, and Deku using Gear Shift has blitzed Shigaraki's perception at sub-relativistic speeds, a small percentage of the speed of light. Whether All Might scales to these speed feats is up for debate, especially with my hero's wild power scaling, but I think it's safe to put him in this ballpark. Now, for those of you shouting, what about Shigaraki's radio waves being light speed? Calm down. I don't think those count. And don't even get me started on people claiming My Hero characters are light speed by Season 2, just because Aoyama shoots a so-called laser. It may look like light, but it clearly doesn't behave like it, so let's toss that theory out. Speed aside, All Might has another interesting trait that separates him from other Superman-inspired characters: fate manipulation. Yeah, you heard me. He seems to have the ability to bend fate in his favor, especially when the odds are stacked against him. We see this in his fight against All for One. It's not that All Might wins because he wants it more, but when he and his opponent are relatively equal, he somehow, someway, pulls out the win. So if Garou and All Might were evenly matched in attack power, All Might could use this subtle fate manipulation to push the fight in his favor. Now, let's dive into what happens when the man who always gets back up goes toe-to-toe with the guy who does the exact same thing. Before becoming a monster, Garou was already a beast. Just when he shows up, he takes down Tank Top Master, an S-class hero with strength comparable to Geno's. Yeah, the cyborg dude. Now, here's the crazy part. Garou, even at 1 HP, can hold his own against upgrade Genos. That means Garou at his weakest could probably defeat Season 1 and early Season 2 Genos. This is the same Genos who blasted a chunk out of the House of Evolution's mountain, which is said to be city-level destruction. Though honestly, that's probably lowballing it. After all, S-class heroes are supposed to handle threats that could level continents, and Genos in Season 1 is probably the weakest of the bunch. But Garou's feats go beyond that. While fighting against the Elder Centipede, Metal Bat was able to stop the Centipede's charge, and considering its size, Metal Bat would have needed mountain-level strength to pull that off. However, Garou doesn't physically match Metal Bat's raw power. The only reason Garou can block and parry his blows is because of his martial arts skills. Without those, a single hit from Metal Bat would leave Garou singing in heaven. In the anime, Garou and Suiryu are portrayed as equals when Garou is weakened, meaning he should scale to Chose's blast, which has been calculated to be near island level. Now, before you light up the comments section, I'm not saying human Garou is island level. He's definitely beyond city level, maybe knocking on mountain level's door, but let's not get carried away. Garou's still in the City Buster category at this point. Now, let's talk about speed. Luckily, this one's easier. Garou at 1 HP is still fighting Jacket Genos, meaning he can keep up with early Season 2 Genos, who reacted to G4's light attacks. Even in Season 1, characters like Lightning Max and Speedo Sound Sonic are hitting massively hypersonic speeds. Lightning Max, as his name suggests, literally has lightning reaction time, and Sonic blitzes Deep Sea King so fast that the rain looks like it's in slow motion. Garrou's real strength isn't just his raw power or speed, it's his fighting style. His water stream rock-smashing fist reflects his opponent's attacks back at them with double the force. Garou can freely adapt to any combat situation. He aims for his opponent's vitals while predicting every move they make based on their posture and balance. Garou's endurance is also monstrous. This guy fought Watchdog Man, battled a bunch of A and B class heroes who poisoned him, and still had enough energy to rip off one of Genos' arms. Genos, by the way, had just gotten upgraded and had taken down Awakened Cockroach in G4. Garou's basically a human tank who doesn't know when to quit. Like All Might and One for All, Garou overcomes impossible odds. But where All Might bends fate, Garou relies on pure determination and grit. Now let's imagine this fight. Garou rolls up to Class 1A like he did in One Punch Man, running a gauntlet. But instead of facing S-class heroes or pro heroes, he's up against none other than the symbol of peace himself, All Might. Alright, so imagine this. All Might charges into the battle, fully enraged, just like he did at the USJ. He's ready to throw a massive punch, but Garou, with his superior skill and speed, sees it coming from a mile away. Instead of taking the hit, Garou uses his water stream rock-smashing fist and sends All Might's punch right back at him. All Might's left wondering what just happened, but he quickly recovers, gets into his fighting stance, and prepares for round 2. Garou is also ready to go, sizing up the symbol of peace. Now the real fight begins. Who hits harder? Honestly, it's not even close. All Might, at 100%, hits like a freight train compared to Garou. Even though Garou's no slouch, he can dish out city-level destruction, All Might's raw power is just on another level. Plus, All Might's got that pesky one-for-all twisting fate thing going for him. But hold up, when it comes to speed, things get more interesting. Garou is likely way faster than All Might. Even if their speeds were somewhat close, All Might fights like a powerhouse, all brute force and big punches. Garou's a martial arts genius, so reading All Might's moves would be a breeze for him. It's almost like a Sonic versus Genos situation. Garou's fast and precise, while All Might is a walking demolition crew. So, on one hand, Garou probably doesn't have the raw strength to take All Might down quickly, but on the other hand, All Might's gonna have a tough time landing any real hits on Garou. Garou could aim for All Might's weak spots, and with his ability to learn and adapt mid-fight, he could even mimic All Might's style and turn it against him. You'd think with all this going for him, Garou should win, right? Wrong. All Might's got that annoying habit of pushing beyond 100% when things get tough. If Garou's somehow keeping up and dodging hits, All Might would just crank it up to plus ultra, either ignoring Garou's attacks or making Garou punch himself out of frustration. Eventually, All Might's going to land a hit, and when he does, Garou's getting launched into next week. But wait, plot twist alert, we've already seen something similar to this in Garou vs. Darkshine. Now, Garou might not be in his Season 2 form for that fight, but hey, Darkshine isn't exactly All Might either. Let's talk about Darkshine for a second. This guy tanked Evil Natural Water's attacks like he was just taking a casual shower. And keep in mind, Evil Natural Water is a dragon-level threat, wiping out anything it touches. Even S-class hero Atomic Samurai couldn't handle it. The same Atomic Samurai who sliced through light particles during the team fight against Psycho Sorochi. In the battle between Darkshine and Garou, Garou did what he does best. He adapted to Darkshine's insane strength. Oh, and let's not forget, the more Garou gets hurt, the stronger he becomes. It's like his own personal upgrade system that activates whenever someone tries to smash him into the ground. He's been doing this since the start of Season 2. So, guess what? The same thing that happened with Darkshine is going to happen with All Might. Garou will get knocked down only to get back up like nothing happened, leaving All Might standing there in shock. Then Garou will go all out. All Might will block the first few attacks, hoping for an opening to land his famous plus ultra punch, but spoiler alert, there's no opening. Garou's already figured out his strength. Little by little, Garou will adapt to All Might's power, and before you know it, the fight will turn into a one-sided beatdown. And just when things get real intense, All Might will run out of time and power, reverting to his normal scrawny form. And boom, that's how this fight ends. But hey, don't take my word for it. This is just my opinion. If you have a different idea of how this battle would go, feel free to share it in the comments below.